Welcome aboard the Read Me a Story Dad podcast, where dreams take flight, laughter reigns supreme, and there's magic in every page. Let's dive into today's wonderful tale together, starting right now.
Welcome to Read Me a Story, where there's a father's love in every page. My name is Brent, and today we'll be reading The Butter Battle book by Dr. Seuss, published by Random House in 1984. On the last day of summer, 10 hours before fall, my grandfather took me out to the wall. For a while he stood silent, then finally he said, with a very sad shake of his very old head, "As you know, on that side of the wall we are Yooks. On the far side of the wall live the Zooks." Then my grandfather said, "It's high time you knew of the terrible, horrible thing the Zooks do. In every Zook house, in every Zook town, every Zook eats his bread with the butter side down. But we Yooks, as you know, when we breakfast or sup, spread out our bread," Grandpa said, "with the butter side up." "That's right, honest way," Grandpa gritted his teeth. So you can't trust a Zook who spreads bread underneath. Every Zook must be watched. He has kinks in his soul. That's why, as a youth, I made watching my goal. Watching Zooks for the Zook watching border patrol. In those days, of course, the wall wasn't so high. I could look any Zook square in the eye. If he dared to come close, I'd give him a twitch with my tufted, prickly snickleberry bit switch. For a while, that worked fine. All the Zooks stayed away, and our country was safe. Then one terrible day, a very rude Zook by the name of Vantage snuck up and slingshotted my snickleberry switch. With my broken off switch, my head hung in shame. To the chief Yookaroo, in great sorrow I came. But our leader just smiled. He said, "You're not to blame, and those Zooks will be sorry they started this game. We'll dress you right up in a fancier suit. We'll give you a fancier slingshot to shoot." And he ordered the boys in the back room to figure how to build me some sort of triple sling jigger. With my triple sling jigger, I sure felt much bigger. I marched to the wall with a great vim and great vigor, right up to Vantage with my hand on the trigger. "I'll have no more nonsense," I said with a frown, "from the Zooks who eat bread with the butter side down." Vantage looked quite sickly and ran off quite quickly. I'm unhappy to say he came back the next day in a spiffy new suit with a big new machine, and he snarled as he said, looking frightfully mean, "You may fling those hard rocks with your triple sling jigger, but I also now have my hand on the trigger. My wonderful weapon, the jigger rock snatchin', will fling 'em right back just as quick as we catch 'em. We'll have no more nonsense. We'll take no more gup from you Yooks who eat bread with the butter side up." "I have failed, sir," I sobbed as I made my report to the chief Yookaroo in the headquarters fort. He just laughed. "You've done nothing at all of the sort. Our slingshots have failed. That was old-fashioned stuff. Slingshots, dear boy, are not modern enough. All we need is some newfangled kind of gun. My boys in the back room have already begun to think of a walloping Wizardzinger one. My bright boys are thinking they're on the right track. They'll think one up quick and we'll send you right back." They thought up a great one. They certainly did. They thought up a gun called the Kickapoo Kid, which loads with powerful Poo-a-Doo powder and ant eggs and bees' legs and dried fried clam chowder. And they carefully trained a real smart dog named Daniel to serve as our country's first gun-toting spaniel. Then Daniel, the Kickapoo Spaniel, and I marched back towards the wall with our heads held up high, while everyone cheered and the cheers filled the sky. "Fight! Fight! For the butter side up, do or die." Well, we didn't do We didn't quite die, but we sure did get the worst, poor Daniel and I. Van Itch was there too, and he said, that old pig, the boys in my back room invented this rig, called the 8-nozzled elephant toted boom blitz. It shoots high explosive shower cherry stone pits. And we'll put your dumb kickapoo kid on the fritz. Poor Daniel and I were scared out of our wits. Once more, Van Itch, I was bested and beat. Once again, I limped home from the wall in defeat. I dragged and I sagged, and my spirits were low, as low as I thought they could ever go, when I heard a boom bah and a diddle dee doo, and our butter up band marched over the hill. The chief Yookaroo has sent them to meet me, along with a right side up song girls to greet me. They sang, "Oh, be faithful, believe in thy butter," and they lifted my spirits right out of the gutter. "My boy," smiled the chief Yookaroo, "we just voted and made you a general. You've been promoted. Your pretty new uniform's ready. Get in. Get in it. The big war is coming. You're going to be in it. You're going to begin it. And what's more, this time, you're starting to win. My boys in the back room have finally found how. Just wait till you see what they puttered up now. And their great new machine, you'll fly over that wall and clobber those buttered down zooks once and for all." Those boys in the back room sure knew how to putter. They made a thing called the utterly sputter. I jumped aboard with my heart all aflutter and steered toward the land of the upside down butter. This machine was so modern, so frightfully new, no one knew quite exactly what it would do. But it had several faucets that sprinkled blue goo, which somehow would sprinkle the zooks as I flew, and gum up the upside down butter they chew. I was racing pell mell when I heard a voice yell, "If you sprinkle us zooks, you'll get sprinkled as well." Van Itch had a sputter exactly like mine, and he yelled, "My blue gooer is working just fine. And I'm here to say, if Yooks can goo zooks, you better forget it, because zooks can do goo yooks." I love Dr. Seuss. I flew right back home, and as you may have guessed, it was downright despondent, disturbed, and depressed. I saw just as soon as I stepped back on land, so were all the girls of the Butter Up Band. The chief drum majorette, Ms. Yuki and Sue, said, "That was pretty sour flight that you flew, and the chief Yookaroo has been looking for you." I raced to the office. The place was a sight. "Have no fears," said the chief. "Everything is all right. My bright backroom boys have been brighter than bright. They've thought up a gadget that's newer than new. It's filled with a mysterious moo-lacka-moo and can blow all those zooks clear to solid Magoo. They've invented the Bitsy Big Boy Boomeroo. You just run to the wall like a nice little man. Drop this bomb on the zook just as fast as you can. I've ordered all Yooks to stay safe underground while the Bitsy Big Boy Boomeroo is around." As I raced for that wall with the bomb in my hand, I noticed every last Yook in our land was obeying the Chief Yookaroo's grim command. They were all bravely marching with banners aflutter down a hole for their country and right side up butter. That's when grandfather found me. He grabbed me, he said, "You should be down that hole, and you're up here instead. But perhaps this is for all better somehow. You will see me making history right here and right now." Grandpa left up the wall with a lump of sleep, and he cleared a horse throat with a Bo-Papas beep. He screamed, "Here's the end of that terrible town, full of zooks who can eat bread with butter side down." And at that very instant, we heard a clup clup of the feet on the wall, and old Van Itch clumped up. The boys in his back room had made him one too. In, in his fist was another big boy boomeroo. "I'll blow you up," he yelled, "into pork and wee beans. I'll butter side up you to small smithereens." "Grandpa," I shouted, "be careful, gee. Who's going to drop it? Will you, or will me?" "Be patient," said Grandpa. "We'll see. We will see." I hope you enjoyed The Butter Battle book by Dr. Seuss. Remember, you are loved, you're extraordinary, you are more than enough.